Hi, I'm Mark Olives, and today I'd like to talk about pain underneath the kneecap. Now, this is not meant to be a comprehensive video, but just going to give you probably the most reasonably likely explanation as to why you might be having pain underneath the kneecap. So the most likely scenario is that you've got what's called patellofemoral syndrome, and what that is an irritation of the undersurface of the kneecap. Now, that kneecap rides in a groove of the femur. It's supposed to just travel straight up and down. But what frequently happens is people, due to various circumstances that we'll talk a little bit about here in a second, will develop a scenario in which the kneecap translates laterally and up as it goes up and down. What that does is it creates a shear force that the body's not designed to handle well, and then you start to get pain in the kneecap. Now, the why this might happen can be numerous. And again, this isn't meant to be comprehensive, but just a couple of the big reasons that I frequently see. Number one would be tightness in the hip flexors and the quadricep. What that does is it applies too much stress on that kneecap as it's traveling up and down, and can also, with a tight, it's called the iliotibial band, but with tightness on the outside of the thigh, that can cause that kneecap to translate to the outside and generate that problem. Another significant thing is weakness in the muscles surrounding the hip. The muscles surrounding the hip control the lower extremity and position it properly. When I don't have good strength in the muscles in my hip, what happens is my leg internally rotates, and when that does, it places me in what would be like a knock-kneed position. Now, as you can imagine, if I'm in a knock-kneed position, and if I draw a line from where that big quadricep or thigh muscle attaches, well, what happens is it's attaching up here at your hip, right in here, and then it goes below the knee to the tibia, or the bone in the shin. If I draw a line between those two straight points, and I'm in that knock-kneed position, what you'd see is the kneecap is going to want to travel outside as that big muscle contracts. And when that does happen, that's where I'm getting that shearing. So it's very important to have good, strong hips. And probably in 90% of my patients that have that kneecap pain, that's what I find is a big issue. They do not have good strength in their muscles in the hip. Now, keep in mind also, I give people exercises to help them strengthen, but I tell them, when you have a repetitive strain injury, it's going to be a slow rehab because strength doesn't happen overnight. I always tell people, if I told you I was going to enter you in a weightlifting contest and you haven't been lifting any weights at all, do you think you're going to be ready by next week? No, you won't even be any stronger next week than you are today. It's going to take you a while to build up strength. And until you've built up the strength, you can't improve the body mechanics. And until the body mechanics improve, you're going to keep getting that shearing and keep getting that irritation. It's only once the body mechanics improve, you've eliminated the stressful position, then the body can heal up. So repetitive strain injuries are very long and tedious to rehabilitate, but just stick with it. Remember, it's going to be worth it in the long run, but you do have to improve strength in those muscles around the hip. I hope this helps you out. Thanks.